All right, welcome back, everybody. We are live. We are good to go. We are green. Well, guys, we did it. We bombed Iran. There's going to be a lot of things that I'm about to show you. We are going to show you all the things that are coming up right now, all the things that are breaking, and then I'm also going to show you all the feeds for Trump when he starts speaking. He is scheduled to speak 30 minutes from right now. So, as you guys get in here, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. This is going to be a little bit longer of a stream because there's a lot of stuff coming in. But bottom line, guys, head on a swivel on this one because this is a thing. There's a lot of ramifications on this one. So as you guys get in here, make sure audio and video is good. I'd love to hear what you guys think. And once we are established audio and video, we should be good to go. Make sure audio and good. Get her done. Sorry, I'm just making sure everything is good. 5x5, audio, video, good, excellent, perfect. All right. So what we're about to do, I'm just going to jump straight into this, guys. Here's the plan for this live stream. I want to bring you all the up-to-date information. I'm getting a lot of it from across sources. I'm not going to go into geopolitics. I'm literally just going to show you what's happening, what we know, what's happening from a standpoint of going forward, what the warnings are now, all the things that are now being opened up. The can of worms is officially just cracked open, right? And then I'm going to culminate with Trump's speech, which is going to be in 30 minutes from now. So that's what we're doing. Audio and video is good. Excellent. Let me get myself out of the way, or at least minimized. Let me show you over here on my X profile. If you guys are not familiar with this channel or you're new, make sure you follow me on X at Braden LOA. We are doing some amazing things over there, and we'd love to have you take part in that. All right. Let's just jump right into it. So I'm just going to go left to right here. Guys, this is the number one thing that I want to say. Just heads on a swivel on this one. Because I'm not going to sit here and say I know something that I don't know, but I can say some advice that Mr. Gunzinger just put out is pretty solid. It may not hurt to go get gas relatively soon, because if Iran closes the Strait of Hormuz, it would take a while for prices to come back to normal and supply shocks, lots of different things. Now, I'm not saying that anything bad is going to happen. Don't take it that way. But when you have a action that just occurred, which I'm going to show you all in a second, all the different missiles, the bombs, all of it, and it's not a bad idea to have your ducks in a row, head on a swivel. All right, just please be safe and frosty. All right, let's get into this a little bit. So I'm going to go back and play these clips as time goes on. Make sure that's good. Okay, good. President Trump's strike on Iran effectively destroyed Iran's capability to enrich uranium at the level that would need for a weapon, and there are thousands of centrifuges. Okay, he hit 3 spaces. I'm going to keep going back to these, then I'll play these clips. And more updates are coming in and as the seconds roll in, by the way. This one I found was very interesting. So what you're looking at here is Thomas Massie saying this military action against Iran was unconstitutional. I'm much more an expert in the Second Amendment side of things. I'm not 100% sure if that's correct or not correct, but you're going to hear more of that, right? This is going to be a very big push on the left. Like 5 seconds ago, it was Trump's going to do something crazy and start a war and oil prices and the economy, and then he didn't do it, and then it was Trump chickened out with the taco thing, and now it's going to be back to he started a war. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. But this one's going to be an interesting one to watch. Excuse me. Now, there's the actual fact. That's from him directly. That is Donald Trump's statement, and I'm going to read the statement for you. We have completed our very successful attack on the three nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordow, Natanz, and Asfahan. All planes are now outside of Iranian airspace. First of all, I'm glad all of our service members are safe. That is a bonus. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordow. All planes are safely on the way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now it's time for peace. I do find it particularly ballsy to go in and bomb 3 locations from this type of coordinated attack and then to go in the same sentence, we need to have peace now. Balls. Just saying it. I'm saying it on the internet. That's a pair of brass ones right there. All right, now we're continuing on. This right here, reportedly, this is from the Fordow plant that they just bombed and basically sent it into oblivion. I'm going to show you all the numbers and all the bombs and everything, and I'll be updating everything over here while these clips are playing. So this is actually kind of a cool setup and test of the new setup because I got 2 screens and I can actually do these kind of things. That's apparently what's left of one of the sites, the big one. So I mean, like you can see, that is a massive impact crater, and that is a massive fire plume of smoke and fire. Let's keep on going. Now, this one I've got to confirm on my other tabs over here, which I'm actually about to do. The United States has now entered a war with Iran, according to the New York Times. I'm gonna wait on that. If Iran openly declares war on the United States, that'll be an interesting thing. Again, this is all in flux. I don't know all of the things that are going to happen. In fact, I'm going to do that right now on a separate tab, just so you guys can have this. New York Times, Iran declares war. And this is one of the things that that is always really important to do, is confirm these things. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about them declaring war. So I'm going to just scrap that one. This one doesn't count. That's why we always confirm. Now, this one's an interesting one, again, because you have a coalition that's going on in the right and the left. So, again, the catalyst here is the bombing, right? We just did it. It was like 400 miles away from subs. We had 6 different bunker buster bombs. We had cruise missiles or Tomahawk missiles. This is Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. Again, I'm just trying to piece this all together for you guys as it's happening. Every time America is on the verge of greatness, we get involved in another foreign war. There would not be bombs falling on the people of Israel if Netanyahu had not dropped bombs on the people of Iran first. Israel is a nuclear-armed nation. This is not our fight. Peace is the answer. And let me know what you guys think over here in the comments. What you think about this? Is this a good thing, a bad thing? Are you concerned domestically? Are you concerned for our troops in the U.S. region? You just tell me right over there. Flood the zone. But it is interesting to see Thomas Massie and Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene both say, what's happening? That is interesting. Okay, let's keep on. Now, this one boggled my mind. John Fetterman, the puzzle wrapped inside of an enigma, is, as quotes, as long as I've maintained, as I've long maintained, this was a correct move by the president. Iran is the world's leading sponsor of terrorism and cannot have nuclear capabilities. I'm grateful for and salute the finest military in the world. Of course, the finest military in the world, 100% agree. I agree they're the leading sponsor of terrorism. That is bad, and they can't have a nuke. I understand. All those things. Those are pretty easy, low-hanging fruit. But it's interesting that Fetterman came out and supported. Okay, that's, again, amongst Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie saying nay, he's saying yes. As you can see, the president will make the address to the nation at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. I am going to pull that up here in about 20 minutes, and then we will be waiting on that because I want to make sure you guys have it right as it happens. And then I can kind of add my commentary as it ends. Now, this is where I really get concerned, okay? And before I read into this one, understand, my concern is for the American people. My concern is for the American service members, and my concern is the innocents that could be harmed. That's my concern in this. Okay, always has been, always will be. Breaking: the U.S. has intensified its monitoring of potential Iranian sleeper cells in the U.S. following the American strikes on Iran, per News Nation. Okay, so let's just say that's correct. Don't you think that may have read the U.S. has been intensifying and knows where everything is before we struck Iran? I mean, there's some stuff, and I'm going to let you guys in this just a moment of vulnerability when I'm talking to both sides of this conversation, but particularly with some family members. My concern is I know a lot of men who are my age, and so including some of my best friends, who served in all these different instances in the Middle East, and it hurt a lot of people and it broke a lot of men. I mean, it really did. They came back very, very hurt. And I don't want that to happen again in a long, protracted war, because that is a bad part of this. Anyway, that's one of my concerns. So let's go into this again. Apparently, this is Iran's underground Fordow nuclear site isn't just secure, it's nearly untouchable. Analysts say it'd take 10 B-2 bombers striking in under 3 minutes to even dent it. That was about 2 or 3 days ago. Apparently, they sent 12. So, I mean, you got to give it a credit if you're going to do it. Now, this is where the propaganda starts. Iranian official: nuclear sites not damaged beyond repair. Well, one of these tabs said we just bombed it out of existence, and now the Iranians are saying, nah, you missed. Let's go back to that one that's burning everything around. Let's see. Hold on a second. No, that's Thomas Massie. That's that one. Yeah, you guys missed. Stupid Americans. You guys missed the tree. Missed? okay, if that's, I mean, maybe they're really good at repairing stuff. I don't know, but that looks like a pretty that looks like it's pretty efficient. Anyway, let's keep on going. Again, President Trump tells Fox the U.S. completely obliterated Iran's Fordow nuclear facility with 6 bunker busters dropped from B-2 bombers rather than just 2. Natanz and Estefan nuclear sites were wiped out using 30 missiles from American submarines 400 miles away. All right, so what we're talking about now is a very coordinated strike. Okay, this isn't a military channel, so I'm not going to go into all those details. But when you look into 6 different bunker buster bombs dropped from B-2 bombers that took off from the United States, and then in coordination, you did 30 Tomahawk missiles from American submarines. This didn't happen on a whim. I mean, that takes some coordination. I'm going to play these clips here as we're counting down to the president's speech. And I'm also going to get the updates so we can run through these things as well with new tabs. But, I mean, like, wow. All right. Now, this one is fascinating. Going back to that thing I just said. President Trump sent multiple decoy bombers west out of the U.S., juking Iranian forces. That's apparently the Guam movements that we saw. While the B-2s actually dropped the bombs, went east undetected. This threw everyone's timing off, including the media's. Iran did not expect a bombing tonight. I mean, like, okay. And I'll play all these clips for you here in a second while I'm looking for more. But, I mean, this is a pretty coordinated thing. So what just happened, and I'm going to give you updates in a second on anything new. You had American missiles send 30 Tomahawks on 2 different sites. You had American B-2 bombers drop 6 bunker busters on 1 site. You had B-2 bombers fly from the United States to Guam, which was apparently a smokescreen, and then the other ones went the other way and then gave each other a high five on the way by. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, this did not just happen. Anyway, let me play this clip, and I'm gonna look for some more stuff and make sure all the audio is on and solid for you guys. We should be good, but let me get this going, and I'll look at the chat here in a second.
From the White House after those unprecedented strikes against Iran's nuclear enrichment sites, 3 in all in Isfahan, Fordow, and Natanz. And you mentioned the 6 bunker-busting bombs, Sean, that the president told you about. That means 3 B-2 bombers were involved in the strikes tonight because each B-2 bomber can only carry 2 of those 15-ton bunker-busting bombs. So that means 3 B-2 bombers were involved. And as we heard from Jennifer's reporting, it's likely deception was involved. Everyone woke up this morning to chatter about these 6 B-2 bombers flying west over the Pacific, refueling over Hawaii at about 11 p.m. But it's clear now that those were decoys and that another flight of B-2s flew east, likely 3 of them. When you said 6 bunker-busting bombs were dropped, that flight that went east went to the target and annihilated Fordow, as we're hearing, likely destroying Iran's nuclear enrichment program. As you mentioned, for 11 years, President Trump has made clear that Iran will not have a nuclear weapon. That was his red line, and tonight he enforced it. You mentioned the 30 Tomahawks fired from sub.
All right, so I'm feeding you all these clips that I promised you guys. And then I'm going to start. I got some more stuff I need to give you updates on. Again, this is all flying in pretty fast, and we're all counting down 15 minutes until the president actually speaks. All right, so this is Hannity. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to play this one.
I just spoke to the President of the United States. I have some new information and breaking details to share about tonight's what is historic air campaign. Now, tonight, Iran's nuclear ambitions, they are officially dead. It appears the United States just completely obliterated Iran's top secret Fordow nuclear facility with 6 huge bunker buster bombs. It was originally speculated that you would only need 2. It turns out they used 5 to 6 dropped from America's stealth B-2 bombers. And that's not all. 2 other major Iranian nuclear sites, Natanz and Estefan, were wiped out with 30 Tomahawk missiles launched by American submarines some 400 miles away. Everyone is out of harm's way for now. That does not mean that American assets in the region are not at risk, and we are monitoring the Iranian response or potential response all throughout the night. We expect the president will be
All right, so again, I'm just kind of filling you in on everything that's going on. The Americans are saying, we're saying, and Trump is saying that it's completely gone dead. Iranians are saying, haha, you missed, even though the entire thing's on fire. We're in a very unique place here. Again, there's the nuclear sites not damaged beyond repair. And if you're just now tuning in, guys, I don't know how you missed it, but if you have, we've now bombed Iran. We've taken out 3 different nuclear sites. We've used submarines in combination with B-2 bombers, bunker busters, and Tomahawks. So this is going to be a thing. All right, so now we're getting to the points that are a little more concerning for me. When we get into the Americans, basically the sleeper cells, okay? Guys, just do me a favor. Just send this one out. Make sure you follow me at Braden LOA on X, because I have a sneaky suspicion that we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff very quickly. Just head on a swivel. Just please, God, head on a swivel. I'm going to get to the other clips that I got audio good that I had queued up, and as I mentioned, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Thomas Massie are both not happy, and there's kind of a split here in the Republicans. This is interesting to see. All right, getting this clip. Here we go. This is the clip that I wanted to get, and I've got a few more things I'm going to show you. Again, these updates are flying in fast and furious, and I'm going to get the Trump speech going here in a second as well. Let me back this up and play this for you guys. Here's all the information that's going down.
Capital deep underground, but also Isfahan and Natanz. This effectively destroys Iran's capability to enrich uranium at this level that they would need. There are thousands of centrifuges in these sites, and the fact that the Americans have the bombs and have decided to use them to strike deep underground puts Iran in a position where at some point it will have to make a decision about the future of this regime, because the Israelis went after many of the air defense systems around these nuclear sites. They went after the sites that they could target with the fighter jets that they have. We talked with those Israeli pilots earlier in the week, and now tonight President Trump ordering this strike, importantly against the Fordow nuclear facility deep underground, very close to the Iranian capital of Tehran, indicating that this strike will not only damage but likely destroy, if successful, Iran's nuclear program and their ability to go and get closer and closer to a nuclear weapon. We expect to get more reaction from Israeli officials tonight, Brett, about this key strike that will change the course of the Middle East forever, and also what they believe the Iranian response will be.
All right, and we're going to hear all that. That's why I'm queuing up Trump's speech right now. So this is the important part about this. I'm going to get this one out of the way, and this is where we start to see these things. And again, guys, if the Iranians shut down the Strait of Hormuz, that means most of the oil that flows around this country, around the entire planet, is getting choked off right there. What you're seeing on the screen, that's actually the strait right there. It borders on Iran. That's going to have ramifications. So again, I'm just walking you through this. I'm not trying to go all geopolitical expert. I'm just walking you through this as Trump is planned to speak in about 10 minutes. So send this out. Make sure you are following me, like, subscribe to this channel, and send out on X. Audio's good still. Right, and Mike, so now this isn't actually, before I go to the new ones I found, I want to hit this real quick. Mike just said something really good in the chat. Mike Miller, again, audio is good. Okay. Thank Biden for the open border, and then the one Jeffrey right above that, and the sleeper cells in America. So here's the thing that I'm genuinely concerned about is I don't love the idea that we've had an open border for as long as we have, and we know that there are active sleeper cells that have been promulgated throughout our country. Just head on a swivel. Like I genuinely, I hope and I pray that we get nothing from this, and I hope they just bend the arm and they bend the knee and they're like, oh man, that hurt more than I thought it was going to. Bye. Okay, we're out. Time will tell. Again, I'm not going to try to couch myself as something that I'm not. I'm not a geopolitical expert. But it is something that's a very important thing. That's a good point over here. All right. So now let me get over to the new things that I just found, and I'm just going to kind of drag these over here real quick. And I'll give you the updates that are now coming in, again, pretty fast and furious. So this is when everyone starts putting in their 9 cents worth, and I'm just trying to bring everything together for you guys. Again, while we wait on Trump, who's going to start speaking in 10 minutes, who I will then live stream this. I'm kind of doing commentary, analysis, and I'm doing producing at the same time. All right. If you guys are new, by the way, or excuse me, if you are just now tuning in, follow me at Braden LOA, where we are constantly talking about all the things that are pertinent to our freedoms and liberties. All right. This is, yeah, that's the one. I actually want to get that one in here too. We're getting into the points when these are the things I want to talk about. All right. So this guy, first of all, Alexander Vindman is just, you know what he is if you've been paying attention the last 4 years. He says, we're in the middle of another Middle East war. I'm reflecting on the fact that it's easy to start a war, difficult to end it. There's often war optimism, so it's unlikely to end with bomb strikes today. Lastly, I'm troubled about Trump's national security team, who we have running this war. Okay, this guy's been on team anti-Trump anyway, it doesn't matter. But it speaks to the left, right? This is the whole narrative of the left. They're searching and pleading for a narrative from the left, and they haven't had one really effective yet. We'll see what happens. All right, Iranian state TV. Every American citizen or soldier in the region is now a target. Again, this is my main concern. Head on a swivel. You guys just stay frosty. That's the main thing. How did Vietnam get in my chat over here? I look over for 2 seconds. Anyway. All right, let's keep on going. An interesting little thing, actually, I just saw something. Stop worrying about gas prices, please, folks. Now, it's not actually the gas prices that you want to worry about from an economic standpoint, Dragon Healer. It's actually the ramifications on the economy and what that will do to the actual raw economy. Because if gas goes to $300 a barrel, or oil goes to $300 a barrel, that will have pretty high ramifications on the economy here. That's just objective fact, right? All right, now let's get back over here to this. Iranian state. Okay, cool. What kind of host would I be if I did not show you what the Iranians were saying? Here's what the Iranians are saying about it. Yeah, well, you guys don't speak Arabic, so let's just read it. The U.S. has committed a crime against Iran. By violating Iran's airspace, it has no place in the West Asian region. The President of the United States, you started it, and we will finish it. I'll just let you guys have fun with the chat on that one. Anyway, yeah. We'll just leave that one raw. Okay. This is kind of speaking to that same smoke screen that I was telling you guys about a second ago, where they sent the bombers to Guam and they publicized the movement to Guam, and then the other bombers went the other direction and just, went right. All right, here's
so my phone has been literally ringing off the hook. But what I would say is that it's notable how much deception was involved in this operation. All eyes were looking west towards Guam and the B-2s that took off late last night towards Guam. It's possible that, but if the distance there would suggest that the B-2s may have also flown east from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. Remember, the air refuelers, many of them were placed in Europe and across the Middle East, and that is what is known as an air refueling bridge. And all of those B-2s would require much air refueling in order to make it. They usually fly round trip from Whiteman. And so what we can say, and the president said this in his Truth Social post, is that a full payload of bombs, those massive ordnance penetrators, the 30,000-pound bunker buster bombs, were dropped at Fordo. And as we have reported, there are 2 entrances to Fordo. So at least 2 bombs at each 2 entrances, which suggests at least 2 B-2s were involved over Fordo. My suspicion is that there were more. And then you have the 2 other sites, Natanz, which also has an underground enrichment facility.
All right, and this gives you an idea of how quickly this is happening. That was about, 8:30. That was 20 minutes ago that Fox News put that out on Sean Hannity, whatever. And we already know that there's been 6 B-2s involved and 6 bunker bust bombs and 30 Tomahawk missiles. So, to give you an idea of how fast this is circulating, we're just kind of running through all these things. And I've got Trump's feed pulled up. So once that hits, I will absolutely take you guys to it. But yeah, just to give you an idea, that's kind of what we're talking about. So let me get to the other stuff that I really wanted to show you guys in the last 5 minutes before he's supposed to speak. So Tom Cotton, obviously the Republicans are going to be out there banging the drum. Let me show you what he says. If Iran wants to target Americans in the region, there are many targets inside of Iran. So basically threatening Iran. So we're all rattle sabering. Okay. Here, let me get this.
Expense and effort to build a nuclear weapons program in deep underground bunkers are now up in smoke. If they want to target Americans in the region or around the world, there are many more targets inside of Iran. So I cannot stress enough what President Trump has said, that they should not retaliate against our troops or American citizens anywhere if they want to continue in power.
So that's an interesting point. If they want to continue in power, basically threatening them, stand down, don't touch our people, or we'll basically regime change you. That's an interesting point because it's kind of been illustrated a few times that regime change was mentioned from the White House. But I'll leave that for another thing. Trump's going to speak, so I'm not going to speak for him. Here's the other thing that I want to hit here. This is kind of one of those things that I'm just going to read to you because this is just an interesting graphic. After Iran's statement that, quote, if the United States enters the war, we will shut down the Strait of Hormuz. Here's the current situation of daily ship traffic through the strait. Around 70 to 100 oil and commercial ships pass through the strait every day. It's the world's most strategic waterway, carrying nearly 20% of global supply. Any closure could severely impact global markets, energy prices, and the Gulf trade. So all those little red arrows that you're seeing right there, those are all the individual ships that are going through the Strait of Hormuz on a daily basis. Again, I'm not fear-mongering or offering geopolitical analysis. I'm just telling you reality. That's how many of these ships go through this strait. Okay? That straight shutting would have an impact on things. That's an objective fact again. Ed's Workshop Squirrel says, I'm waiting to hear the justification from President Trump. Could be reasonable intelligence was found. We'll see. That is exactly why I have the feed pulled up here, and I will let you guys know as soon as he starts. But anyway, this is another important piece to this. All right? Let's keep on going. That's also why I retweeted from Mr. Guns and Gear. Mike, might not hurt to get gas. Just saying. All right, I can close that one out. We've covered it. This one is an interesting piece. And I'm going to play this clip a little bit on and off because this is something from 2020 they're pulling up. Here's what will probably happen next. This is Nick Sorter's account. This is not me saying this. Iran will likely launch retaliatory strikes because they have to save face. Now, that does make political sense. You would have to save face. If you wanted to maintain power in your country, you'd have to save face of some way of strength, some sign of strength, right? You saw the same thing with when Israel struck them, they sent the missiles back. It's all about saving face and perception. These will most likely be on U.S. bases in the region. I really hope they're not. But they did the same thing in 2020 when Trump killed Soleimani. Iran intentionally targeted vacant buildings so that no U.S. troops were killed. It's possible. This gave both sides the chance to de-escalate. Iran did their retaliation and no lives were lost, so we did not need to hit them again. I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm literally just showing you what people are talking about right now and how it's breaking down. The United States contacted Iran diplomatically today before the strikes, telling them regime change is not planned and that the strikes were all that was planned. Wait a minute, we called them and told them we were going to do it? Jeez. That's a pair right there. And now to the left. Back to the lefties. Again, we are expecting the president to start speaking in about 2 minutes. Hold on, Netanyahu's speaking. I don't think I need to cover that. Hold on a second. Sorry, guys. What's Netanyahu doing? Let's check in on him real quick. I'm actually curious.
Bless Israel, and may God bless our unshakable alliance, our unbreakable faith.
What's he doing? Okay.
The leader of Israel with.
Sorry, that was just a whatever. Okay. That was a standard, typical. Actually, move that back over there so I can manage that. All right. What was I talking about? Yes. Now we get into the lefty part of this. Breaking. The U.S. illegally bombs Iranian nuclear sites. Secular Talk with Kyle Kulinski is a far left account. Like that guy is very big on the left. He's like the Young Turks level of far left. Okay. If they're already striking out as the U.S. has illegally bombed Iranian nuclear sites, that's the angle they're going to go with right there. You can watch all these guys and do all these things, and you can watch what they say and how they all, like, in unison send out the same talking points, which I'm waiting for over here on some other threads. if it's about U.S. illegally bombing Iranian nuclear sites and that's the move, that's what you're going to see from the left. You also saw some from Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie, if you guys weren't watching. So again, I am just kind of keeping on going. Sup LOA, only second live I've caught of yours. Gonna watch the Warheads on Forehead speech from Uncle Donnie with me. Thank you. Warheads on Foreheads. Wow. Melissa says, my concern is our troops. I share that exact same concern. I have concerns about our troops, I have concern about our assets, and I have concerns about our civilians and soft targets. Those are my three things that I'm very concerned about. Concerned Citizen says he's pissed. Should we expect retaliation? I can't address that from a standpoint of expertise, so I'm not going to give you my personal expertise, like global thing. I'm trying to stay in my lane. I just want to bring you what's up, or at least what's circulating. But they have to find a way to save face. I mean, like, that's like even in politics without war. If you take an L, you got to find a way to win. You got to find somewhere to win. Like, you got to do something to say, like, no, we're not completely pathetic. The Democrats just haven't found theirs yet. But that's the idea, right? So when we're talking about these kind of things, that's what I worry about, is what the ramifications would be. All right, we've got the presidential podium. The second that I see him walking down, we're going to stream the live speech. Everything just flipped over to dark mode. Okay, it doesn't matter. Cool. Everything didn't break. And we're just sitting here watching the podium at this point. So let's see. Bear with me, guys. As you know what, I'm going to put that up there real quick so you guys can kind of see while I'm getting some more stuff. As you can see right there, I'm going to put you in theater mode. There we go. So Trump is going to speak momentarily. So I don't know. Oh, hold on a second. There's human movement. That looks like Trumpy boy. Yep. All right. Abandon my conversations and let's go.
Thank you very much. A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the three key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel. And God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, so you genuinely just heard it. Just subtle. All right, so here's where this is getting interesting. And again, I'm not going to stay on live like all night long observing X post and where this goes. But you're now in a position. What Trump just basically said was, "Yeah, it happened. Probably should have acted cooler. You didn't, so we did it. Don't do it again, or we'll do it again." I mean, effectively, that's what I just heard. You guys can let me know in your chat if you didn't think that, if you heard something else. But it was like a 2-minute speech of, we came, we saw, we bombed you. I mean, like, that was pretty much it. Don't do it again or we'll bomb you again. We can do it faster next time. I'm all about the efficiency. Here's the thing. And this is here's my opinion on what's about to happen. You're about to see the left go full on exactly what this is right here. U.S. illegally bombs Iranian nuclear sites, and they're going to take that narrative and they are going to go full on, thought no more wars. Iran has been bombed illegally, and then he threatened even more of it. He's unhinged. He's crazy. He's doing this. He's a dictator. He's a Nazi. Oh my God, Hitler. Like that's my expectation. You guys can hold me to it, but I think it's a pretty safe expectation. And that's where we're at right now, guys. So I thought Trump's speech was going to be a little longer than that. It lasted a grand total of 3 minutes. Short and to the point indeed, but it's very interesting reading the chat over here. I mean, like I'm tuning in every second or two, and a lot of you guys, some of you guys are very pleased, some of you are antagonistic, and some of you are very pissed. It's very interesting to see how the way this is shaking differently, but it's a seismic shift moment. That's a very big thing. Everyone seems to be lacking on illegally. Well, so they're talking about constitutionally. That's what they're talking about. The presidential war powers. That's what they're going to go down the road of. They're going to try to say probably, like the Trump side is probably going to say it's a terrorist state, so we can take action. It's limited in scope. And then the other side, the Democrats, are going to say, well, no, you just started a whole on war. We need... God, you guys are some savages over here in this chat right now. Biden would have talked to him. Yeah, I agree. Let me do a refresh over here of the of everything that's popping on X after that speech. So I would like to give you guys updates if there's something worthy of update. All right, let me just do a little refresh real quick. Okay, hold on. This one's going in. This is an interesting one. Iran has announced that it will pursue legal action against the United States attacks. Like legal action. I mean, I guess the Second Circuit in Boston kind of favorable. Maybe the Ninth Circuit maybe do something, but like legal action, like what, the UN? Child, please. Anyway, keep on. I'll just leave that up there for your all's consumption. Guys, okay, don't go anywhere for this one. Wait. Hey, what did I say about a minute and a half ago? Watch this. Here is Rashida Tlaib. This is a Democrat congresswoman. This is almost, good Lord, these people are predictable of anything. President Trump sending U.S. troops to bomb Iran without the consent of Congress is a blatant violation of our Constitution. The American people do not want another forever war. We have seen where decades of endless war in the Middle East gets us, all based on the lie of weapons of mass destruction. We're not falling for it again. Instead of listening to the American people, Trump is listening to war criminal Netanyahu, who lied about Iraq and is lying once again about Iran. Congress must act immediately to exert its war powers and stop the unconstitutional act of war. God, guys, put a quarter in the jar. That was like a minute. Goodness gracious, these people are predictable. All right. Audio's still good. Now I'm intrigued. Now we're going to have some fun. Let's see what else we got over here. Typical wackadoodle saying Trump declared war on Iran. No, he didn't. That's factually not correct. Man, there's some interesting guys. I mean, like, I swear to you, I do not have a mole in the Democrat Party. AOC calls for Trump to be impeached. God, guys, this is, oh God in heaven. Okay, let's just keep on going. This is now, at this point, now just, Trump's on now, short and to the point. Okay, cool. Let's see if I can find some more Democrats who are just, apparently waiting for the script to drop. Okay, so apparently Yemen has now declared they're going to try to attack us. Hold on a second. I mean, I know, guys, I know. Yemen's armed forces have declared they are ready to strike U.S. warships in the Red Sea if Washington joins Israel's attacks on Iran. Okay. Okay, that's good. Noted. All right, let's keep on trucking. Yeah, I don't think there's much more. Oh, hold on a second. Look at this. Here's the leader of the progressives in Congress. The authority to declare war belongs solely to Congress. Trump's unconstitutional and escalatory strikes risk drawing U.S. troops and the American people, who are overwhelmingly opposed, into another forever war. Congress must immediately exercise our duty to restrain this president. That sounded really familiar. Oh my God, look at that. Not falling for it again, a forever war. Wow. Man, I told you guys, the talking points just went out. That's what it's going to be. But that's another thing for another time. I would like you to put a quarter in the jar on the way out to say that, wow, we called that one. Anyway, I hope you guys have an amazing evening. Head on a swivel. Be safe out there. I hope you enjoyed the little off topic, but the live updates that I brought for you guys. And I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later. DJ, I have no idea if it'll disrupt the bird bath. I wish I knew. See you on the next one, guys.